What's up, GSD leaders? I just wrapped up doing a podcast strategy for a company and wanted to share some behind the scenes and also do a recap for the owner. So the first thing, if you're wanting to start a podcast, is you've got to think of a name. And one of the ways that we did that, we did some research with the keywords in his industry. And then we started to think about all of the seasons that he is going to want to do. And so him and the private investigators with the company, we landed so far on evidence uncovered. And these are some of the behind the scenes words, and these are websites that they already own. And so I believe they're going to end up doing seasons. Each season will have one case, and they already have a book, and then they recently got a guy out of jail. And so I want to show you the process of behind the scenes on the computer. So we make a Google folder for all of our clients, and we have a bunch of templates. And if you're going to be having guests on the show, you definitely want to have a template and a schedule just to stay sane. And so this was the podcast strategy that I want to share with you guys. Go up here. So basically you want to think of a launch date, a name, and a tagline. And you're not going to come up with it on the first try. It definitely takes some brainstorming, going through keywords, writing a description of what the podcast is going to be about the host, which again, he has written a book, so it was easy to copy and paste over some of these things. So you want to do an intro and an outro that the host is going to read each time. Usually you can just do that once and then edit it in each time. And I suggest outsourcing the intro and outro music and a little intro that is said by the voice that you choose and a little outro with music. Typically, it's like what the guest is going to experience, and then the outro is what do you want them to do in terms of the call to action. You want to look up doing artwork or hire a designer to do that. For this one, the font that we chose is called Leave No Fingerprints, and the colors are navy and white. You really want to list out who your audience is or who you think would enjoy listening to your podcast. These are the platforms that you can have your podcast hosted on for people to listen. This is software that you're going to need, or we recommend getting if you're going to be doing a podcast. Equipment, you're going to need some equipment. You're going to have to invest in a good mic, some headphones, outline the episodes, outline the recording dates, who are your guests going to be if you want to have guests. And then I would recommend doing an online countdown party to the launch date at least 30 days out. And then some marketing. So having a Facebook group, a website, a guest form to pre-qualify guests that want to be on your website, and a promo video. So then I listed other resources here. So let me just show you a couple of other things. So we started off by just honestly looking at my stuff, my scripts, my intro, my outro, the music intro, the music outro, my old script, and how it's changed over the years, because it's definitely changed. You want to update this at least once a year. Then we have a podcast process that we share on reaching out to the guest, how to schedule them, the information that they need to fill out, how to record it, where to edit it, where to make the images for all of social media, where to upload it, and then where to put it on social media. And then following up with guests after the episode is live, you want to make sure that your guest shares it as well. You can also put it on YouTube. And then again, these are good accounts to have and software. So this is a podcast guest template that we use that each guest receives, and they must fill it out. So this is where we take and get the talking points and the show notes from. And sometimes people don't fill it out, and it just makes it really difficult. And so I've gotten to the point to where if they don't fill it out, if they can't take the time to do it, then I'm not going to take the time to interview them. And then I want to make sure that they are connected with me on social media. So that is the guest template. Then this is our guest schedule template. So we try to record just one time a month, and sometimes I'll talk to between 5 and 10 people in one day, and we only do it once a month. And so it's slotted for an hour. There's 15 minutes cushion time in between. We typically use Zoom, and then Amanda goes in here and fills in all of the names, follows up with them. If there's an ad, the air date, name, phone, company, industry, notes. I like to know who the heck am I talking to and how do I know them, and then what their email address is. This is the email template to send out to guests after their episode goes live, asking them and inviting them to share the episode. And then from a marketing perspective, you can get a website. This is a widget through Libsyn. These are the different platforms you can subscribe on. This is my promo video. And if you are gonna have guests, you can include some pictures here, or if you're gonna have a season or a series or a case, you can simply put those here. And then once you launch your podcast, of course, get all your friends and family first to leave a review for you. And then you will want to start inviting guests as well as people that you interview to leave a review. We also have a Facebook group for the podcast, so you can encourage your guests, and you can put like behind the scenes things there. So if you're gonna have guests on the show, I would definitely recommend coming up with some type of an intake form. This just lives on our website on the home page, and people can fill that out here. Then this is our private Facebook page. And then these are just behind the scenes assets that you may want. So when you start to grow an audience, you can do sponsorships. And so this is just a sponsorship package with prices and how these different companies can get exposure to our audience. And if you are asked to be on podcast frequently as a guest, you'll want to create a one sheet just explaining who your audience is, what the topics are, what the samples are, and a little bit about yourself. So this concludes a recap of starting a podcast. We also went through different fonts for the name of the podcast. So these are 4 different fonts. I usually like to do 3 fonts and 3 pictures for the person to pick. And that's one. This kind of reminds me of Silence of the Lambs, so I'm just not quite sure about that. And then these are just fingerprints. So these are some choices and images that we'll have to go in and purchase, as well as purchase the license to the font once the client chooses.